What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the TRCBY show. Today we're going to do a 3090 hash rate again with some tweaks. So I'm just going to minimize this a little bit, or rather, you know what? I'm going to switch over to particular views. I'll just keep it like this for now. So I want to go over what my settings are at the moment. So my current settings for MSI Afterburner is this. So I'm currently underclocking my core clock by -400, and I'm bumping up my clock by 300. My power limit is at 75%, and my fan speed's at 80, and that is essentially what I'm currently doing right now. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what my Nicehash expected rig is at the moment. I guess that's that, but what is the, let's see, go to over here maybe. So I'll hopefully I'll zoom this in and show you guys a little bit of what we're doing here. So we've been mining for about just 15 minutes. So starting up over here, if we go all the way up to the top, so as you guys can see, so we went to 1905 and we're like at 1920. So we've been mining for 15 minutes, but the most important thing that I want to show you guys that is this. So back before I did this, my what is it? My GPU memory junction were kind of up there, like in the 90s or something like that, or even in the 100s. And I think like before I did all this other like weirdness, not weirdness, but like currently it's at a memory junction of 80. It went up to 94, and then I took away that side panel. So taking away that glass side panel on the case helped it like a lot, as you can see. Like it went down significantly. It was hovering at the 94, like 2, and then it crept up to 94, and then I was like, you know what? Let me take off the glass side panel, and this is pretty good. So it dropped significantly all the way down to like 80 degrees on the memory junction, and that makes a huge improvement. I wasn't too comfortable being in the 90s, nor was I comfortable before being like in the hundreds before I did all this. So what did I do? Well, I ended up taking apart my GPU, and I repasted my thermal pads. Yeah, it wasn't that great of a whatchamacallit, an experience. Like what these other videos don't tell you is that sometimes your, what is it, your 4-pin or 3-pin power connectors to your in your GPU, when you're taking them apart, that could be the most challenging thing, taking that off, just because it's so sensitive and you don't have that much wiggle room. You could definitely rip something off and you could brick your car. And I was one of that guy that almost had that accident, but I was lucky enough to have the appropriate tools, and I was able to get that off carefully, even though it was really stuck in there. It was not an easy, like a 3-pin fan connector. It was hard. It wasn't easy. So and then I went ahead and replaced my thermal pads with these new thermal pads that I got. And I'll get a picture up somewhere. So I replaced it with those, and I had to do some measurements. Some of those were like the 1 millimeters, 2 millimeters, or 3 millimeters, and I think I just replaced some of those with. I don't think I had like a 3 millimeter, or like, yeah, like a solid 3. I only had like a 2.5 and like a 1, or a 1 and a 2. So I did that, kind of like a weirdness to it, but just to get that fitting in just right. But right now we are doing pretty good. So we are, summary wise, I guess we're doing all right. We're not too bad. I think what I really care more about is the fact that I am not hitting this like 100, 100, and like close to 104, 100, like 8. I remember when I first booted up like Nicehash, I was getting like 108 on the memory junction. I was like, whoa, And that's when I started adding those delta fans to blow right into it. And then I started adding some more of those, like a heatsink on top of the GPU's backplate, which does help. And I still have that on there. So I don't think that is doing anything invasive at all. That is just adding extra surface area for the backplate to disperse heat. So I don't see that as being anything negative at all. If you have room in your case near your the back of your plate and your GPU, feel free to add that. That was the most non-invasive method, and it was cheapest, and I didn't have to freak out worrying about my GPU breaking, essentially, or breaking it just by adding heat sinks to the back of the GPU as an additional surface to cool off the entire backplate of the GPU. I would actually recommend that over anything else. So we've been let's see, Nicehash. We're still doing something over here. MSI, again, this is our setting at the moment. And hardware info, we're looking pretty good. 78, so we are in October. And, you know, my PC is sitting next to the window. Have the window slightly, like, open. But that does help with getting some cool air in, atmospheric cool air in. And then it's just creating this nice little flow with the computer. So that's why my memory junction, I believe it's doing so well. It is like, I never thought I would see this when I am mining, to be serious. Even with the percentage that I was doing before, I think I was like, what is it? I think I had it 80%, and let's see what happens. You know what? Let's bump it up to like 80% and see if we get a little bit more. So if you go to 80%, hit apply. Here you go. Let's take a look and see where we are in terms of our memory junction. We'll give it a little bit over here, and we are still looking pretty good. So if I go back and show you guys that particular window, hardware info, and let's go over here. Where is my hardware info here? Come on now. Come on now. Alright, wrong one. I'm looking at this one over here. Okay, there you go. So if I go over here, and it's still looking pretty good. So we're still about the 80 right here for the memory junction. And we're at 80% power. And I don't really see that much or a significant increase in my mega hashes. I'm thinking it's all the same, just about from 75 to 80. What if we bumped it up to, and say, screw it, let's just give it 100%. Let's give it our all. We're going to do 100%. Let's see what we get. Just do 100%. There you go. And let's take a look at our hardware info first. We want to reduce that and calm it down a little bit if things do not work out the way that we want it to work out. So let's go to hardware info. And I'll zoom in for this for you guys. So now we just crept up to 82. But that's still not too bad at 100%. 82, 80, 82. And we're just, we're still doing okay. I don't really see, again, a huge significant impact in terms of the mega hash rate just yet. But I think sometimes if you like start and stop and redo it again, but it is creeping up there. So 82, 84, that's a definitely like that's a 4 degrees Celsius bump from where we were just now, from the 78 to 80. So now it's 82, 84. But bear in mind, we're at 100%. Being at 100% last time, I was like in the triple digits. So thermal paste, definitely worth it. If you have the, I guess the tools and the comfort of doing it, I would say go ahead, do it. Replace all the thermal pads with something that is better, or something that you feel is better in some way. Like, do your research, look it up. But the thermal pad that came with this Gigabyte had that like slimy, greasy, oily, like white thermal pad on it, and I had to clean that off, and then I replaced it with these, and I'll show you in a picture. But it was a challenge. It wasn't easy, I guess, or as easy as I thought it would be. It was still fairly easy. No, it wasn't too bad. But replacing the thermal pads, getting this reduction in the GPU memory junction, this is a huge bonus. And I think my previous video of this being only at like 80% and everything stock, I was in the 90s, I believe, in the GPU memory junction. And this is a big, huge difference. Like, huge. Like, I can't even believe how much of a difference it was. So, I still have the, that little weird, like, a heat sink on the back plate of the GPU, which definitely, I believe it helps. It's the most non-invasive way of adding additional surface area to cool your GPU, and it wasn't too bad. And my memory junction now, it's still like 84, and keep this in mind, we are now at 100%. So being at 100%, usually we power limit ourselves down to like 80, 85, 70, 75. I've seen some other people do like 60, 65 power limit just to get that memory junction under control. But I'm just totally surprised that changing the thermal pads on your GPU made this significant like difference. So I will show you guys that I'm kind of like running everything. So let me just do display capture, get this little weird window here. So here it is. Here is Nicehash, and here is that hardware info, and I'm just I'm running it, and I think it's doing okay for now. I don't think I want to keep doing it for too long because I kind of want to play games. Ooh, hey, look, we're creeping on up. 88, 86. So, but it's not spiking all the way up just yet. So I'm thinking that is a bonus for us. But at the same time, like, I don't know. I want to do something else. Maybe I'll leave this overnight and see what the max temperature gets. I'll just be very curious as to, like, what we will end up getting. But I am super comfortable with these temps for now. It's a lot better than what I had before. But anyways, let me just go into here and pause this out, and we'll take this off. But yeah, I think overall changing the thermal pads definitely worth it. I mean, you need to be comfortable doing it, like taking apart a GPU that is pretty hard to get, unless you were able to get dozens of them and have no issues with maybe potentially breaking one. Great on you. But for me, it was either you do it or you don't. And there's a certain point when you're taking apart your GPU, you pass the point of no return, where if you loosen it up enough where you essentially you need to repaste the whole thing anyways. So I'll drop some pictures along with this video just to help clarify what I did, what product I used. And yeah, it was kind of hard to take a video of myself doing it. It was my first time doing it, but it was something. I thought it was a very good experience in doing it, but again, I would not do it if you are not comfortable with it. So if you are, like, I don't know, just really nervous about doing it, don't do it. I would say just leave it be, and maybe like find a buddy that may be comfortable with taking apart your GPU, reapplying the paste. They may have the tools to do so. Maybe you don't. Maybe just you're a little nervous in doing it, but it was kind of worth it for me. So let's go back to the memory junction now. Again, we've been mining it since at 100%. This is at 100%. Let's go back to hardware info. We're kind of chillaxing now, like around the 84. So it did go up to 86, but dropped back down to 84. And this is huge. At 100%, I don't think I would ever have thought that I would have gotten like where I was simply by changing the thermal pads. That's a huge significant increase in temperature. But anyways, that is it for now. I hope everybody's doing well, staying safe and healthy. And I know this wasn't so much of a how-to video, but it's more of the end result of what I did, and I'm kind of just showing you guys what my current setup is at the moment, what we're currently getting here using Nicehash, and then also hardware info in terms of where our memory junctions are from doing so. But anyways, that is it. Hope everybody's doing well, staying safe and healthy, and peace.